All right, here we go. We are live again today. How's it going, everyone? My name is Jose Trujillo. I'm an artist, and we're gonna do a landscape here. We're gonna do a little je ne sais quoi landscape. So the thing about landscapes is that the less you know, the better you do. I think not just with landscapes, but just in general with loose brush painting, the less you know, the better you do. And what I mean by that is that the more you're trying to, here, let me put this back. The more you're trying to what's that damn word I'm looking for? I can't believe it. I completely forgot the word. Anyways, you have to let loose, right? You can't control. The more you try to control is really the word I was looking for. The more you try to control, the less you'll figure it out. Why? Because loose painting is about losing control. And so the control is there, but it doesn't come from your mind. It comes from your subconscious. It's almost like you're painting. I like to think of it like you're painting if you're like sleepwalking, almost. It's intuitive, you know? You know, when you're sleepwalking or people sleepwalk or whatever, or they're in a state of mind where they're super relaxed. That's pretty much what it is. It's like a very relaxed state of mind because you are not trying to control the painting. You're actually allowing the painting to do its thing. And so this is one of the reasons why so many people have such a hard time with loose brush painting. I don't blame them. I know exactly what it is. You're trying to control it. And the less you try to control what the painting will look like, if you just like, you really have to let go, if this makes any sense. You have to let go of the whole thing. And so this is what makes it very difficult. I know some people have been expressing to me, man, it looks easy when you do it, but when I try it, it's difficult. And the reason why, it's because it's the control. Really what you're trying to lose is the control. When you do loose brush painting, this is why I made many videos about losing control. Okay, I apologize for that, guys. So, loose brush painting is about losing control. So it doesn't really matter how you do it as long as you lose control. And losing control is it's a practice, guys. It's not something that it just happens out of nowhere. It's a practice. Okay? Losing control, usually nobody wants to lose control because we're taught to think of it as I'm losing something, but you're not really losing something. The only thing you're not losing anything in your artwork. As a matter of fact, you're not losing realism. You're not losing anything. The only thing you're losing is the necessity to continue to control the painting. And to lose control is you really have to just not give a shit. And it's not that you don't give a shit about the painting. It's that you stop giving a shit about your own ideas of the painting. It's your ideas of the painting. Your ideas of how you hold the brush. Your ideas of everything, right? All the ideas you have. And so that way you can really start experiencing the painting from a different perspective. You start experiencing the painting from a whole different perspective. You're not trying to control the. As a matter of fact, what ends up happening too when you lose control is that you'll notice that you'll get a little faster, a lot faster if you really lose control. Another thing that you'll notice is that your paint becomes very without diluting it. You'll notice that your paint becomes very fluid, and you don't really need to dilute it. What happens is that you're moving at such a rapid, speed, and you're not moving at a speed because you're trying to finish the painting. No, you're moving at a speed because you're looking to lose control. It's the control you're trying to lose. So the less you think, the more control you have. The more you think, the less control you have over the painting. And so this is what makes it difficult. It really does. I know that a lot of people are like, man, I want to paint loose. I want to paint loose. Some people see how much I paint. I paint dozens and dozens of paintings, any given week, sometimes a day. And people tell me, how do you do that? It's because I've learned to lose control. This didn't happen overnight, guys. This happened over years. Okay, it happened over years. It didn't happen one day. I didn't wake up and all of a sudden I started painting, 20 paintings. No, it happened because I started to really lose control. And what happens when you lose control is that you start trusting yourself. It's not that you paint well that you trust yourself. You start trusting yourself when you lose control. The more control you lose, the more you begin to trust yourself. Why? Because you're not trying to mimic anything. There's not even an idea of a painting in your mind. There's not even an idea of a painting. It's just you're not trying to say, oh, there's green there, I'm going to put green there. Oh, how should I put the green there? No, it's one after another, one after another, one after another, and until the painting starts showing itself. Many of you who have followed me for years, I've been talking about have heard me talk about how you're not supposed to be thinking so much. And so most people don't get this deal, but if the more you think about the painting, if you're like, oh, okay, the shadow's there, why is he making those lines, and on, the more you think about the painting, the less you get to capture the painting. The painting is like a little fucking bird. It's flying, and you're trying to capture it, and you can't capture it if you're like, oh, there it is. No, because by the time that you try to capture it, it already moved. If this makes any sense. Karen says, I'm the same way. I appreciate your explanation. Thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate that. And so it's a moving target. When you're painting, it's a moving target. And so the best way to paint is to accept that it's a moving target. Painting is a moving target, guys. It's not there. It's constantly moving on you. It's not there. You can't even think about anything because it's a moving target. By the time that you figure something out, it already moved. And so I wouldn't even waste time on trying to figure out how to paint. I know there's a lot of you out there wasting a lot of precious time trying to figure out how to paint. I wouldn't do that. I would just paint. I would just paint and paint and paint and paint and not waste time trying to figure out how to paint. If loose brush is your deal, because when you try to figure out how to paint, you're not losing control. You lose control when you start being reckless with the painting. You actually be reckless with everything. You be reckless with the brush, with the painting, with the canvas. You be reckless with everything, and you just kind of let it go. And you just, but it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. I go through my moments where I'm trying to control the painting, and those moments are everything suffers around me. My economy suffers. My mental state suffers, right? Because I'm trying to control onto the painting. When I let go, all of a sudden I become more productive, so therefore I sell more because I become more productive. I it's just I get on a roll, right? Things start happening for me, and that's because I'm not trying to. Oh, there's this little part right here that no, I understand where I stand. You know, I understand where I stand. It's loose brush. It's not. I'm not trying to do something I am not. And so, I'll leave you guys with that. My name's Jose Trujillo. I hope that this made any sense. Take care, and I'll talk to you guys later, all right? By the way, if you guys like this artwork, you guys are going to like all the cool stuff that I have on eBay, on my eBay shop. I have lots and lots and lots of auctions that start at 99 cents on eBay. And they're so cool. You guys should check them out when you get a chance. There's a link here on the on my profile on Instagram, Jose Trujillo Art, and if you guys are watching this on YouTube, I'm gonna pin a link below where you guys can check it out. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. Adios.